Too many people wait until 65 or even after they stop working to get their retirement affairs in order. But if you've hit the $1 million savings mark, you are likely closer to being ready to retire than you think. And if you haven't taken action on the 5 areas we're going to cover today, then you could be walking into retirement without a safety net. My name's Amzalag. I'm a certified financial planner and the owner of an independent financial planning firm. And every year I spend hundreds of hours guiding clients through the most impactful financial decisions, helping them avoid expensive mistakes and ultimately retire with clarity and confidence. And most people think that retirement planning starts at 65 or when you're just a couple months away from giving notice to your employer. But if you've saved $1 million, you are already at a tipping point, right? That number opens up new opportunities, but also new risks. So what should you do once you hit that savings mark to avoid bigger regrets that retirees face later? Well, let's walk through 5 steps together that will future-proof your retirement. The first thing to do is start by running your numbers sooner. When I speak to retirees, by far the most common regret is not money, but lost healthy years. Reddit has an entire forum dedicated to this topic. It's called In Hindsight, I Wish I Had Retired Earlier. And a quick scroll through that forum shows person after person commenting things like, my mom retired at 65 and then died of brain cancer at 67. Or, I didn't realize how toxic my work environment was until I left and started my own company. I became a better person. My kids told me that I felt like I was more vibrant and healthy. Now I'm fully retired, aside from occasional part-time work, and life just feels so much better. If you've crossed the $1 million threshold, it's time to stop guessing and start mapping your plans, right? Before that threshold, it's okay to be directionally accurate. For me, it's kind of like, imagine walking across the United States. If you start in California and you want to end up in New York, in the beginning of the journey, it's enough to start by simply walking east, right? But as you get closer to your destination, you need to fine-tune your directions so that you actually end up in New York rather than Florida or Georgia, right? My experience working with dozens of couples planning for retirement is that $1 million threshold for savings is where you really want to start fine-tuning your directions. You can use a financial planner or you can run the numbers yourself. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you base things on conservative estimates for things like rates of return, inflation, and lifespan. And you might be surprised to find out that you could either afford to retire now or that maybe with just a few small, simple tweaks, you could retire maybe years earlier than you had expected. The second thing to do before you retire would be to take care of any major medical, dental, or vision work. Your current insurance plan is probably the best insurance that you'll have for the remainder of your life. Employer coverage almost always beats Medicare and supplemental plans, especially when it comes to bigger ticket care. Those bigger ticket items also tend to come out of nowhere, and so I've seen people delay dental implants, surgeries, or even routine work that they might need done, thinking I'll get to it after I retire. Medicare will take care of this for me. Then that after comes with higher deductibles, fewer options, a lot more complexity, and many, many delays. Someone in my family actually fell victim to this exact dilemma. They had waited years to have shoulder, knee, and ankle surgeries. These had all accumulated over time at separate periods of their life. They knew that these things would be needed and thought that these would be less expensive and more efficient to wait until they were on Medicare to get, only to find out that they were going to end up paying significantly more out of pocket and that it was going to take them far longer to complete those treatments than it would have otherwise. And they had just given up years of their lives delaying those treatments just to give up more years of their life waiting to get the treatments again once on Medicare. So if you're even considering retirement in the next few years, now is the time to schedule all of your deferred care, especially dental work, which Medicare does not cover. One of the most practical moves you can make to start is just book an appointment and ask, is there anything major on the horizon that I should have taken care of while I'm still covered under my employer plan? A super simple question, but it can save you thousands of dollars and many, many hours of headaches. Now, quick ask, if you're enjoying this video, would you do me a small favor? Please subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified when we put out other retirement planning videos just like this one. Thank you. Now back to the video. So the third thing you should do once you cross the $1 million savings threshold is start your fitness habit now before you retire. I asked a client just last week what their number one recommendation would be to someone who has $1 million saved but hasn't retired yet. And they said to me, my recommendation is to attend to your health. When I was 58, I got a scary doctor's report. They told me that I needed to get my life in order. I discovered intermittent fasting. I started walking, hiking, and doing a bit of strength training. And over that time, I dropped 50 pounds. Now I'm almost 65 and I'm in the best shape I've been in 30 years. That initial effort, despite being scary, paid tons of dividends. I'm loving retirement. I feel like I have all the energy I need to be with my grandkids and my family. My doctor's happy with me. And even my dentist told me my gums are healthy for the first time. So yes, getting your financial life in order is important, but nothing is more important for enjoying retirement than being in good health. And you're at the perfect time to begin your journey because it's much easier to maintain your strength and fitness than to build it. So don't wait until you retire to start. Getting in shape isn't really just about vanity, although that's a nice bonus, right? Health is the engine that powers all of the fun that you've saved for in your retirement, right? Travel, grandkids, hobbies, experiences. The older we get, the harder it is to rebuild what we've lost. And as an added bonus, getting healthy before retiring will mean that you will spend less in healthcare costs, which will probably be your second or third largest expense in retirement. So if you've got the means and the margin, start now, right? Build a baseline. It'll make retirement feel like an upgrade and not like a recovery plan. The fourth thing to do before you retire is to lock in your access to liquidity while you're still earning W-2 income. Here's the truth. Once you retire, your balance sheet might look great on paper, but to a bank, you suddenly are incomeless. And that matters when it comes to borrowing. I had a client who opened a $100,000 HELOC just before they retired. They didn't need it at the time. They knew that once they left their job, though, qualifying for that same line of credit would be much, much harder, maybe impossible. Now the HELOC just sits there. It's not touched. It doesn't cost them anything, but it gives them peace of mind. And this recommendation isn't about taking on new debt. It's about giving yourself options. A line of credit is a lever that gives you more control down the line if you end up needing it. The worst time to need money is when you've just left your paycheck behind and markets are down, right? The last thing you're going to want to do is sell investments during a downturn just to handle a sudden one-time expense. So retiring with access to some emergency cash means that you can stay in control even when life throws a surprise your way. The fifth and final thing we're going to go over today is to set up a loved one's checklist. A loved one's checklist is basically a variation on an estate plan. And I'm not really talking just about getting your estate plan documents done. What I am talking about is you talking and sharing about that with your family. I can't tell you how many times I have seen this go sideways, right? A parent passes away, their kids are left scrambling, they don't know where accounts are, they don't know how to access funds, there are no clear instructions for end of life. And even when the money is there, it gets tied up in legal knots because no one had the talk together. One person I spoke to put it bluntly and said, "I wish I'd talked to mom about her estate. She passed with nothing in place and it's been a mess." Right? So don't put your loved ones in that position. Get your legal documents in order, right? You'll probably already do that without needing me to tell you that. But also make it a point to walk your family through what exists, where it is, and who to call. And that's exactly what a loved one's checklist is. I created this loved one's checklist to help guide these conversations. And I'm going to make this downloadable in the description, the second link in the description below this video for free. No email address required. Just click that second link and you'll have a spreadsheet that has the loved one's checklist that can help you consolidate and guide the conversation to have with your family. The loved one's checklist, the goal behind it is it's simple, it's shareable, and honestly, it is actually one of the most loving things you can do for your family. The last thing you want is for them to be stressed and anxious trying to piece together parts of your financial puzzle or financial mystery while they're grieving you. Leaving a legacy isn't just about money, right? It's also about leaving clarity and not confusion. So take the time now before retirement hits to make sure your loved ones aren't left guessing later. You don't have to tell them every detail about how much money you have. Just give them the broad strokes and let them know where things are housed. And again, you'll see that that loved one's checklist can help guide you through that information. And so if you've saved over $1 million and you're thinking, I've got time, these 5 steps can be a helpful reality check to get things done before you actually retire. These aren't just financial to-dos. These are high leverage moves that can shape how retirement feels, right? It can help you feel less reactive, more intentional, have a greater sense of control. Because the goal in retirement isn't just to stop working. It's to stop working and have clarity, flexibility, confidence, and peace of mind. Now, we could only cover a fraction of the decisions required in order to retire successfully in this video. We only have a short amount of time together today, but we've prepared an entire video that walks through our 4-step system to help you live your dream retirement. And if you'd like to watch that free video as well, you can click the first link in the description below this video. In that free video, I'll walk you through the process, the exact process we use here at Peak Financial Planning to help people retire with confidence and control. Thank you as always for your time and attention. I'll see you in the next video.